Okay, I am doing this video um, and I'm going to start like a video series for myself. It is very therapeutic for me. So I will start a video series and start talking about some of the things that I need to kind of get off of my chest. I've been doing it off and on for several years now, but I was always in the position of fear because I was, for the most part, raised to not be able to express myself in a positive way or in a productive way. And so some people might be offended by some of the things I say. I really don't give a shit because it's not about you; it's about me. And this is not selfish. This is not uh, wrong. It may be wrong in your eyes, but it's my truth, and I feel the need to express that point blank, period. So I will. So, uh, yeah. So, what struck this on was me actually watching a movie called from a book series, actually from Terry McMillan's book series called A Day Late and a Dollar Short. And I remember watching the movie like years back, but kind of like forgot about it. And then I just decided to watch it again today. So yeah, it brought back some, memories or some things to, I guess you could say, some triggers. Um, but I find that when I watch movies, each time I watch them, I learn something new from them, and I like reassess what might be going on in my life at the time, so that I can, I guess you could say, grow spiritually, or uh, look back and reflect. I'm a person that is very big on self reflection, and the reason why I am is because a lot of people are not. They're not big on standing in the mirror and looking at themselves. And this is not a pity party. I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes over the years, and I've went through hell to amend those mistakes. So yeah, but at the same time, I just recognize that there are a lot of people that just they don't self reflect, and people that don't self reflect have a tendency to be, and this is my personal opinion, they have a tendency to be very narcissistic. And I, some background here. I come from a narcissistic family structure where uh, there's where I'm, for the most part, the scapegoat of the family. And so when I make a mistake, it gets magnified. If I do something wrong, or no matter what reason that I do it for, it is, you know, it's magnified so that the rest of the family or everybody else's participation in how they interacted with me doesn't get seen. So that's what a scapegoat person is. The scapegoat of the family in the narcissistic family structure is they're the villain of the story, and everybody in the family gangs up on me and gangs up on that particular person at to save face for the whole family. So they worry about the optics. Oh, well, it's her fault. You know, she messed up and she deserves this, this, and this. Now they messed up too, but they don't want to admit that. They're afraid to admit that because they haven't came in a certain part of their life where they're able to look at themselves and self-reflect. It's just that simple. Now, my mother, she died this past year in 2023. She died. Um, and so there's a lot of unresolved tension between she and I when she passed away. I did not attend her funeral. I refused to attend the funeral, not because I wasn't trying to give my mother her props or be there for her, but to avoid the pain and a lot of the situations that she and I were going through, and to not deal with the family because I refuse to be in a place where I know I'm going to be ganged up on. And then it's one of those situations where you throw stones but hide your hands. That's what my family does a lot. And so I knew better. I knew it wasn't safe for me as the scapegoat of our narcissistic family to attend the funeral because I already knew what was going to happen. And so I took the chance of not going as to not be provoked or placed in a situation where I was put in the position where I was being gaslighted. And so that's what I did. I did not attend her funeral. During this time, I was going through therapy and going through my own personal struggles. I have some mental health issues as well as some regular health issues um, that started in 2019. So some of those issues my physical issues have progressed and gotten a little worse. And so um, dealing with that uh, coincided with my, dealing with my psychology as just a human being. It can be very difficult. So I feel like I know I made the right choice in not going because who my family the way that it's structurized, um I would have been gaslit and almost set off. I'm almost sure of it. Set off from things. My family, they gossip about me. They talk about me like I'm a piece of trash, like I'm a dog. But they got stuff in their closet that I could write whole books about, like seriously, write books about. And I choose not to do that. I'm going to reveal some things like piece by piece by piece because it's my time now to reveal a lot of things that really went on. Um, just to give you some background, people judge me. People judge me based upon how I look. I would have to say I'm just the average black woman. I'm not ugly, but I'm not the prettiest person either. And so you can take that as you will. But I am confident in who I am. Just because I am not what society says that they think that I should be, or even my family think that I should be, does not give them the license to disrespect me, to misuse me, to dismiss me. And that is what has happened for the past 48 years. I've been dismissed, disrespected by all of them. And not just them, but not just my family, but the people that surround my family, which my family is very much into trying to, play, play this. Oh, we're these good black people. They're into that. they're into optics and how things look and how things should look in front of basically white folks. Okay. And I've seen this go down since I was a little girl. And I always wondered, even then, and I always felt weird and I always felt like, what the hell is this? What's going on? And now that I'm 48 years old and I'm a grown woman and I understand things a little bit better, I got some life experience under my belt. They I wasn't crazy. I may have a mental condition, but I wasn't crazy about that. I knew something was wrong with this shit. And how they interacted and then used, how my parents and my family used their children. And they did it to some of my other siblings as well. But I can't speak for my other siblings because you can have a relationship with my relationship with our family, or should I say my parents, may not be the same relationship with that they have with my other siblings. Like if you understand the narcissistic family structure, you usually have a child that is the scapegoat. That's me. So the scapegoat is put up as the family front of everything that's wrong. So that person gets used, abused, talked about amongst even the family members to make sure that they keep up the appearances that everything's okay. And then you got the golden child. A golden child, which one of my siblings, she is definitely the golden child. And part of her being the golden child is the fact that she is financially helping the family in a way. And so my parents really over the years, especially when we became adults, triangulated us and pit us against each other in that way, almost as if your grown children are competing for your love. That's what they did. And it caused a lot of havoc, because especially for me, because me being the scapegoat and being married, I had to move back home. I had no other place to go, and I was looking out for my children. So my children, now that are grown, especially my oldest child, she's been pit against me by my own family, as and she doesn't even see it now. And I think she sees it, but she's afraid of it. Because she sees she sees the pain. She saw all of the pain and some of the things that I went through as her mother and as a single parent. And it's embarrassing. I would be embarrassed too. Like in her mind, oh, something's wrong with my mother. What the fuck is wrong with my mother and this, and this? And who wants to deal with that? So I get it. When I take myself out of the mother position, feeling entitled, oh well, she's my daughter, when I take myself out of that thought pattern and I actually look at it from the outside looking in, I understand her not really wanting to have a relationship with me either. I get it. So it's just a mess. It's just a mess. And I've been listening to Dr. Remeni and uh, going through a lot of, I guess you could say, classes or information and research about the narcissistic family structure for the a better part of a decade. I started doing this around 2014. So now we're in 2024 and I see it, and it's hard to shut off. Once you start to see the truth about things and start to understand people's patterns, how they relate to you, why they ignore you 1 minute, but then want to call you on the phone and be like, oh, okay, well, I need you to help with the family. You start to see like certain patterns, and I see it. And so I've had parents who they've had their own struggles, especially as Black people, as African Americans, they've had their own struggles. I get it. I literally get everybody's disposition. So I'm the scapegoat. And then years and years and years before, I used to actually, before I understood this, when I was very much younger, especially in my 20s, because I had got married. I married a guy in the military, and I had moved around, and I was not mentally stable at the time, and I did not know that that I was dealing with these issues. So, um, my rage and my anger and stuff would start to come to the forefront, and but I knew that something was going on with me, which which is why I went back in 2006 and went to um, sign myself in to do that. And I remember my father telling me, "No one told you to sign yourself in." So they knew something was wrong. It's hard for me to like forgive them, I think, because I everybody knew something was wrong, but they just pretended like they just overlooked it as something like, oh, it's wrong, but whatever. But the very thing that was wrong with me that you didn't want to involve yourself in as a parent, as a family member, to help another family member, you crucified me for it. You weaponized it against me in my life so that you could feel better and keep up all of these appearances in front of these white people that you wanted to impress your whole entire fucking life. So I just find it very interesting. I really do. So like I said, I'm putting this video out. This is kind of like my therapy session. This helps me release some of my of my thoughts and my anger and my disappointment and hurt. I just release it. I release it. And yeah, I'm going to put it out in the ether. I'm going to put it out in the ether. So, and if people don't understand it or get it, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. You're not me, and you've not walked a mile in my shoes. And I don't give a fuck if you get me or not. Like I said, this is for me. This is my self care. And this is for me. This makes me feel better. And this is not a selfish thing, because I'm just learning how to be quote unquote selfish, if you will. It's not selfish, it's called self care, and actually taking care of yourself and self reflecting and dealing with your issues. I've took my issues and all of the shit that I've done and done in my lifetime, and I've took it by the horns, and I faced myself in the mirror. A lot of you motherfuckers judging me right now, you can't say that. So I really don't care about what you think, because it's really not about that. As human beings, we're supposed to progress. We're supposed to love. We're supposed to help each other out, look at each other and see each other's, pains and ills, our good times, our bad times. We're supposed to look and see our, the positives. And humanity is in trouble right now. Look at the way that the world is. When you look at the macro situation, the world is out of whack, totally out of whack, especially humanity. Humanity is going down. Humanity is going to hell for the most part. And we don't want to look at ourselves as a community, as a nation, the American nation. I look at how we are in America. Ooh, child. America does not want to address its first sin, cardinal sin, which is slavery and how they treated black folk. So it's just a lot of nuances, personally and outwardly, in the so-called community or so-called society. We have work to do, people. We really have work to do. And it starts, like Michael Jackson said, looking at the man in the mirror, or the woman in the mirror at this case, looking at yourself, seeing what you can do. But when you don't repent and you don't self-reflect, or you don't want to come to the table and say, you know what, I had played a part in all of this. it's hard for it's hard you're not going to move forward. You can't move forward without going back. Why do you think history is so important? In fact, it's Black History Month. Why do you think history is so important? We celebrate President's Day, which will be this upcoming Monday. We celebrate that. So our history is important, because if you don't understand your history, you're doomed to repeat it. So for those who think, oh, she's so negative, she's so negative, looking at things so negatively, you have to face your past so that you can have a better future. If you keep setting roadblocks up and trying to pretend that that shit does not exist, that's why you not moving forward. That's why the narcissistic family that I have, as a family, we've never moved forward. In fact, we've gotten worse. And now that the matriarch of the family has passed on, everybody, everybody wants to, go to the favorite scapegoat and isolate. And what y'all don't realize is I'm not afraid of isolation. Y'all have always isolated me. You isolated me when I was a little girl. Oftentimes I was in a lot of white environments, the only little Black girl there. Or what I've dealt with isolation, so I don't fear that. You not scaring me by isolating me. You're just showing who the fuck you are. You just proved my point in who you really are. And what I find interesting is that I've been going to therapy for the better part about my family for the better part of I would have to say 5-6 years, and my therapist and our group class that I go with, they agree. I tell them these stories because they go through some of the same things, and a lot of people don't understand what true narcissism has gotten. Is the name the statement of saying, oh, that person's a narcissist is actually become commonplace now. But there's levels and degrees to, for real, the DSM-5 narcissistic family structure. It's a lot. It's very nuanced, and there's levels to this shit, and it's very deep. When you factor in so many other positions, so many other, I guess you can say, issues that, or sub issues that are attached to it. So I think I'm no longer, the reason why I'm able to talk about it now and put it on film, put it on a video, because I'm no longer ashamed of it. Y'all are not going to shame me into of shutting the fuck up. Even when I went on that show and that girl used she used my stuff against me. I trusted her, unbeknownst to me, not realizing, she just wanted to do a show. And so she used my information, and she, so-called outed me and told me that I lied and all this other kind of stuff, and, victim blamed and all this other kind of stuff. And I didn't lie to her, but that's what she said, and y'all, that's what y'all choose to believe. I was, at the time, when you're angry, I was angry at that time because as a mother, I felt my child was being harmed. And so that the mother, that I was triggered, as the mother in me was triggered for my child, for my daughter. And that's how all of that came out. Am I going to apologize for it? Fuck no. Because you motherfuckers know exactly what you did. I was harmed sexually by my half brother when I was 15. Everybody wants to, try to pretend like that's not there. And that doesn't, make up for it. I don't have a relationship with that side of the family because of that. And I feel like, I know that my parents, especially my dad, he placed roadblocks up so that I would not really connect with anybody. And so that's what narcissists do. They isolate you. They put you in a position where you're isolated so that you don't tell the truth, or you don't tell your truth, or say what's necessary, so that everybody else can willfully ignore. Well, you know what? I'm turning the lid off, and I'm gonna talk about you motherfuckers. I'm gonna talk about all of you. I don't give a fuck about your jobs. I don't care about your shit, because you didn't give a fuck about me when it was happening to me. So if this makes me feel better, if this allows me to say my piece, then so be it. And I think I end here. I think I've ranted and, ranted on enough here and said some things, said my piece and said what I feel. And I'll continue to creating this series of I'm going to call it a specific series. I haven't totally decided yet, but I'm going to call it a specific series. So, and I will. And I want to keep, these videos under 30 minutes. I don't want them to be, me just ranting on and raving and sounding however it is. And even if it does, I really don't care. Like I said, I'm doing this for me. This is what makes me feel better, and this is how I release the negative energy that has been so called placed on me. And I'll let it in here, and I will see you on the next video.